Baylor's track and field head coach. Then Scott Drew will be here for the second half of the hour. So a fun night, and we'll begin with Coach Michael Ford talking Baylor track and field right after this, live from Rudy's.
I hate my job,
but I don't mind getting up in the morning.
I dread each day,
but I can't wait to get out of bed.
You ask me why,
and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue.
Are you ready to elevate your Waco experience to a whole new level? Look no further than the Baylor Club, where you can indulge in one-of-a-kind luxury and unwind in our exclusive lounge area. Located in the heart of McLean Stadium, this elite club offers a 5-star member atmosphere for all your work and play needs. With a master culinary team and outstanding hospitality, we take pampering to a whole new level. For interest in membership or to schedule your next private event, call 254-710-8080.
A new era of Baylor basketball is here. Join us for the historic first season at the brand new Paul and Alejandra Foster Pavilion and secure your tickets to Baylor women's basketball today. The wait is over and the Foster Pavilion is ready to welcome in the Baylor family for an exciting conference season. Tickets start as low as $15 and are in high demand. Don't miss your chance to experience Big 12 basketball on the Brazos. Lock in your seat today at BaylorBears.com/tickets.
For a limited time, get high-performance, ultra-reliable internet from Astound Broadband, starting as low as $25 per month. And now we have mobile, too. Visit astound.com to order the #1 rated internet. Create the perfect plan with fast speeds to meet all your needs, plus get a 2-year price lock when you upgrade to award-winning gig internet. No contracts, no hidden monthly fees, and no data caps. Switch today. Head to astound.com or call 1-800-4ASTOUND. Restrictions apply. See website for details.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back live from Rudy's on the Baylor Coaches Show this evening. Folks, join me in welcoming Baylor track and field head coach Michael Ford, our leadoff guest tonight.
Welcome
to you.
John. Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Did you navigate the traffic okay?
Oh, yeah. You know, as a sprinter, we take shortcuts anyway, so I got a shortcut here.
That's a really good answer. That is good. Apparently, and some of you may be trying to get here and are stuck in traffic listening to us, apparently some kind of gas leak on Valley Mills Drive, so that has shut down a big portion of Valley. Can you guys know that? You guys confirm that? Natural gas leak. Okay, so be careful. Avoid Valley Mills Drive would be the best advice we can give you. But we're glad you are here and glad you sprinted around whatever delays there might have been. You had on your schedule the Baylor Invitational scheduled for this Saturday. Those plans have changed.
Yeah.
What was the decision there?
Well, we wanted to go to the men's basketball game this weekend, so we canceled our track meet. But no, on a serious note, we had some teams pull out, and I think financially it wasn't a good idea for us to have it with us and 2 other universities. So we decided to just train through this week and get ready for outdoor. In 2 more weeks, we'll run at TCU, and then we'll have our Clyde Hart Classic on the 22nd and the 23rd.
Good. This would have been your first outdoor meet, right?
Yeah. Would have been the first outdoor meet.
And the indoor nationals are next week. We'll talk about that. So it is a little bit of a
weird dynamic,
like a hybrid weekend, right?
Yeah. Well, we always think about the kids who didn't get to run indoor, and get them started. And the way our schedule was set up was, if we had a meet, they would get a meet, and then we would go to indoor championships, and then we'd have a week off before the Clyde Hart Classic. But so that if we didn't have a meet earlier, it would have been 3 weeks off for those kids, and then also the ones that did run indoor at conference. So we just thought that if we can get started a little earlier, it would be better. But I guess God and had other plans for us to do different things.
Listen to God. That's always good advice. But you do have a number of – so you still have 3 more home meets this year.
Yeah, still have 3 home meets. We start off with the Clyde Hart Classic in the end of March, and then we have the big Michael Johnson Classic. And we're looking forward to that meet. I think we have right now like maybe 25 schools coming to that one. And that'll be the 19th and the 20th of April, and then we'll come back and host Big 12 championships in second week in May.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a busy week. I mean, busy year.
Busy year
At the Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, very cool. That is good. So what will you do? I know you're planning on hosting this meet, even though it would have been small this week. What do you do this weekend besides go to the basketball game?
Yeah, besides go to the basketball game, I think a big thing for us is just getting some rest. A lot of our top kids did run a lot at the conference meet. They've had a good season, and I think the rest is good. And then we have spring break coming up too, so they'll get a little longer break.
True.
The ones who doesn't go to nationals, and then we'll just get ready for TCU and get ready for the Clyde Hart meet.
Gotcha. Is spring break next week?
Actually,
at
spring
Baylor?
break starts on Friday.
This Friday. Oh, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll train tomorrow, and then we'll give them off after that.
Gotcha. Funny how I don't have that in my brain when I don't get spring break.
I don't get spring break either. So
can we talk about the Big 12 indoors? Man, y'all you really had a good meet. It sounded like team-wise, the women finished 5th and the men finished 10th at the indoors.
This year was a little different because you added the new teams, the universities, and so we honestly didn't know. I think projected the ladies were supposed to finish 7th. The men were supposed to finish 9th. Thought the ladies did really well. You start off with Alencia and the pole waters. I mean, they go 1-3, and then Alexis Brown gets second in long jumps. So they started off really well, and then also Vicky Adu, she scored in the weight. And so our first day, I think we already had almost 20 points.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a good opening day for us,
Right.
and then we finished it off with the sprints.
This was in Lubbock?
Yes.
The indoors were in Lubbock?
Yeah.
Tell me about your female pole vaulters, Alencia Lentz and Molly Haywood, first and third in the conference indoor meet.
Yeah, they've been vaulting very well all season. Brandon, I think we had a after Annie Rhodes, Jonigan graduated, and then Tuesday Tidwell graduated. Yeah. We had like a little drop off the next year, and he promised me that he said we won't have another drop off, and he brought 2 good freshmen in.
Wow.
I mean, we have a big pole vault group. I think we have 8 pole vault women and 5 men, and so they have a pretty big group right now. And Brandon Richards is doing a great job with them.
Man, that sounds good. And Alencia is a freshman.
Yes.
And she tied the school record, 14-9.
Tied the school record, broke the meet record
Wow.
at the Big 12 championships. And I think she still has a lot more left. And so looking forward to seeing her compete next week in Boston.
Shades of Annie Rhodes Jonigan and Tuesday Tidwell.
Yes.
Who are great.
Yeah, and I think her and Molly, they work well together. Molly, I think coming out of high school was a little bit on the higher end, but they just work really well together. They train hard together, and they love to compete against each other.
All right, tell me some of the other highlights from the Big 12 indoor. How about Nathaniel Ezekiel in the 400?
Yeah, Nathaniel's been running well all year. I mean, he broke the collegiate record in the 600 yards in Lubbock about three or 4 weeks ago, and he's been running well all year. He's also broke his record in the 400, and he'll get to go to nationals. He finished 3rd. He got kind of tied up a little bit in the back, and he had to make a big storm at the end of the end of the race, and ended up finishing 3rd overall. He'll go into nationals, I think, in the top 10. So looking forward to. He made finals last year at NCAA's, and so we're looking forward to seeing him do well.
That's great. How about DeMar Francis in the 200?
Yeah, and DeMar made nationals last year in the 2. We were trying to double him at the meet. We ran a stupid race in the 400 because he should have been in the finals of the 4.
Really?
Yeah, the one thing about DeMar, he's really fast, but he didn't use his speed in the 400 the first lap, and I got behind 2 guys, and then also he had Nathaniel in his heat also, and then Nathaniel made a move. He didn't make the move at the right time, and he ended up, I think he finished 9th overall, but it motivated him to run fast in the 2, broke the school record, broke the Jamaican national record in the 200. And then he'll go to nationals. I think he's in the top 8 going into
great.
it. So he's running well, and I'm looking forward to seeing him run at nationals too.
Is there a little more strategy indoors, like in the 400, tighter, a little bit tighter? Do you have to have a plan going in a little more?
Yeah, it's kind of like going over the circle. Like the circle, everybody's driving on a circle, and then all of a sudden you have to merge.
Right.
And that's how it is indoor. You have
Right.
to merge at a certain point, and if you don't merge at the right time, you either have to slow it down or you have to speed up or you crash. And so for him, he actually slowed down. And then the other two guys merged together, and he ran behind them the whole time. Gotcha. So you have to be, I would say, you have to be a lot more aggressive indoor than you do outdoor. Outdoor, you're in your lane the whole way. Right. But indoor, you're in your lane for only like 150 meters of the race.
It's a good comparison to the circle, which is right outside us here at Rudy's. Yeah.
Yes,
sound like you've driven that circle a few times.
Yeah, I have to merge on it well.
Yeah. How about Gary Moore Jr.? He continues to do well.
Yeah, Coach Shack is doing a great job with Gary. Every year he gets better and better. He's still young, still getting stronger. Just right now, currently just working on some technique work to throw farther. I think he'll do really well. His big event is, of course, is a shot, but he did well in the weight and in the shot at the indoor championships.
Yeah. Just announced earlier today, Colin Pirtle gave me the news, DeMario Prince, Big 12 Men's Freshman of the Year for the 2024 indoor season.
Yeah.
That's a great accomplishment.
Oh, yeah, no, and it was great for him because he ran really fast early in the season, also jumped well the first meet, but then he ended up getting hurt. And so he actually missed a few meets, and so we didn't actually know if he was going to compete at Big 12s or not, and he wanted to compete, wanted to go to nationals. He ran a PR in the semis and the final, and then ended up getting a Big 12 freshman, co-freshman of the year.
Man,
but he's an awesome kid. He'll do really great outdoor, but the 60 hurdles and the long jump are his main two events.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And final one to ask you about, how about Alexis Brown in the long jump?
Yeah, Alexis has been a godsend. I recruited her out of high school. She chose another school originally, and then she was just not having a great time at the other school. Saw the light, saw the light, and luckily I was able to talk to her again, got in the portal, and got a chance to talk to her. And then Coach Smith has done a great job with her in the long jump, and she's PR broke the school record, first female jumper to go over 22 feet at Baylor history. And then she also ran well in the 60, and so now she's getting a chance to go to nationals, where she hadn't been at nationals when she was at University of Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
60 and long jump. Is that a little bit of an unusual double?
Actually, it's a common double because both of them are speed and power events. Sure. The last one we had was Cara Petway. Okay. And she had the school record in the long jump and in the 100. So it works out well. Me and Coach Smith, of course, we went to school together, and we work well together. Normally, Alexis is with me on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then she's with her on Tuesday and Thursday.
Interesting. Yeah. That's great. All right, let's take a break. Back with more in a moment. Coach Michael Ford is with us, Baylor track and field coach, who has been selected as part of the coaching staff for Team USA in the Paris Olympics.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that, plus your questions when we come back. Live from Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue, and we'll be right back after this.
Baylor alumni.
Right back, John.
160,000 strong. When we all join hands to support our university, we don't just move the needle, we move mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected. Get involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
Kids can now join the Baylor Cub Club, presented by Green Eye Associates, the official kids club of Baylor Athletics. Fans 12 and under can register for the low cost of $25 and gain exclusive benefits and access to Baylor Athletics events. Members receive free admission to select events, exclusive giveaway access, and their own membership package. To register your Cub, please visit BaylorBears.com/Cub Club. Sign your Cub up today and sick 'em Bears.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's, brought to you in part by TFNB, your bank for life, the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texans are making TFNB their bank for life by stopping by any one of their 5 locations or visiting TFNBTX.com and sick 'em Bears. Continuing with Coach Michael Ford, Baylor track and field coach, and named, I guess it was last week, the USA Track and Field men's sprints and hurdles coach for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah, it was a huge honor.
Yeah.
I was very honored and blessed to get that email from the USA Track and Field Committee, and so I hope to represent Baylor and Baylor Track and Field in Rochester, New York, really well.
Rochester,
Oh,
right.
yeah, my hometown.
Shout out
Yeah.
Rochester, that's right. I thought you were going to say the trials were in Rochester, but no.
I wish.
Yeah, that's not happening.
No.
So what does that do schedule-wise for you? How much of a time commitment is that?
Well, right after I found out, I had my first Zoom call for about an hour. Basically, I'll leave in July 25th at the latest.
Okay.
And then we'll have a training camp, U.S. training camp somewhere in France. They haven't told us yet where. And then the track starts on the 1st and ends on the 11th. And then I'm actually gonna stay for a few days and go sightsee a little bit after
in Paris.
Yeah, in Paris.
So it's August 1st through the 11th.
Yeah, for track and field.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about leading up to the trials? What's your time commitment there?
My time commitment is with Baylor University.
All right.
Until then.
Yeah.
I'll try to get some recruiting done, finished up, and get ready for NCAAs that are in June, and then U.S. championships or our U.S. trials are in June also. So I'll get ready for those, and then get ready to go after that.
Is that out in Eugene again?
Yeah. So they'll have the under-20 championships the week before, and then they have a under-20 World Championships this year in Peru, Lima, Peru, and then they'll have the trials the week after for 10 days, and then after that we'll go to Paris.
Nice.
Yeah.
So even at the trials, I mean, you're still all Baylor at that point, but are you, and you'll be there. But are you kind of looking at who's qualified and getting to know them a little bit too?
Yeah, I'll probably go out there a little early. I think I'll be out there at least for the 400 and the 400 and 100 are usually the first week.
Okay.
And then there's 2 dead days, and so during the dead days I'll do some USA coaching duties that they're giving me, and then I'll 400 hurdles are at the end of the meet.
Okay.
So and the short hurdles are at the end of the meet also. So I'll watch that and then help through processing, and then get my USA kit and get ready to go.
Nice. Yeah. I am so happy for you. That is such a big deal.
Yeah,
man.
no, it was a huge honor. I've been on a few international teams before.
Yeah.
I've been on the under-20. I've been on the Pan Am Senior Meet, and I've been on a USA versus the World. But this is the ultimate one. It only happens every 4 years, and it's just a huge honor that the USA Track and Field and then the Athletes Association picked me.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
No,
That's really cool.
Thank you.
All right, let's do this. We got a lot of questions for you, but let's take a break, and we'll come back with those questions from the audience. Really good questions from our audience for Coach Michael Ford. We'll have that when we come back. We are live at Rudy's. Rudy's a proud sponsor of Baylor Track and Field and basketball and Baylor Athletics. Be sure to stop by your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com for some real Texas barbecue. Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. Don't forget Rudy serves breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. We are back live from Rudy's with Coach Michael Ford right after this on the Baylor Coaches Show.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. This Texan knows how to sick 'em. Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com to check out the rugged Tundra today. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Introducing the Sick'em Podcast, a weekly storytelling podcast produced by Sport and Story, the content team behind Baylor Plus.
Hopefully people feel that I was approachable, but also that I knew the game.
Hosted by me, John Morris, the Sick'em Podcast features in-depth interviews with current and former student athletes and coaches.
As a coach, why you coach is to see other people happy and successful.
Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts. Sick'em Bears. Are you ready to elevate your Waco experience to a whole new level? Look no further than the Baylor Club, where you can indulge in one-of-a-kind luxury and unwind in our exclusive lounge area. Located in the heart of McLean Stadium, this elite club offers a 5-star member atmosphere for all your work and play needs. With a master culinary team and outstanding hospitality, we take pampering to a whole new level. For interest in membership or to schedule your next private event, call 254-710-8080.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Back live from Rudy's on the Baylor Coaches Show this evening. Thanks to everyone that is here, those of you watching on our live stream, Baylor Athletics Facebook and YouTube pages. Thanks to those of you listening on our flagship station in Waco. Coach Michael Ford, our first guest tonight, and we've got some great questions from the audience. It's First Place Foods, Ask the Coach, First Place Foods. That's a darn good pickle. Thank you. And, Coach, let's begin with these questions.
All righty.
Beginning with, this is Roy, right? Is this you, Roy? He says, what is the reason we're doing so well in the pole vault?
That's a good question. I think, well, Coach Richards has always done a great job. He's done a great job over the last, I guess, 12 years that he's been here. I think the fact that he has 8 pole vaulters on the female side that work hard together. So Alencia, she's more of a, when I think about Alencia, she's more like an Annie Rhodes. She's very finesse, very quick. And then Molly is a little bit more powerful. She actually has done, I can't think what it's called. It's the obstacle course things.
I don't know.
I can't remember. But they work really well together. Those two and then the other young ladies, they work well together. But I think the combination of one being a fast and finesse and the other one's being more powerful, I think they hand in hand and they push each other too to be very well. And Brandon, he does a great job on just motivating and getting them to the higher heights. And then as long as they trust him and get on bigger poles, that's what they do. They get on bigger poles to go a little bit higher. Yeah.
The ropes course? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, no.
The
Ninja Warrior. Yes.
Okay.
Molly Hayward, that's what she used to do.
She did?
Yeah, when she was in high school.
Whoa,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, and look, it leads you to a great career in pole
vaulting.
Very good. Thank you, Roy. Great question. Here's a question from Scott Van Kelly right here. Scott says, what is the typical warm-up for a sprint or hurdle?
Oh, man, we normally have about 3 different warm-ups depending on what we're trying to do. If we have a speed power day, we're going to go a little quicker. And so we have a dynamic warm-up. I would say 2 laps and some acceleration work, some short sprints, and then we'll go into some hurdle mobility, some running drills. That's usually about what we do. Just about 45 minutes of warming up, and the workout probably takes about 15. And then other days we're going a little slower on the tempo workouts. So we're doing maybe some hundreds in the grass, a lot of leg swings, and we actually have the workouts, the warm-ups on the cards. So we just give them the card and say, hey, do warm-up A or warm-up B or warm-up C, so they know which one they're doing. So it just varies. Even at the track meets, there are different warm-ups too. But a lot of it is the acceleration work, a lot of running drills, and some dynamic flex workouts that we do.
Nice, very good. So when you get to the Olympics and you've got these sprinters here, you tell
them what to do.
Your student athletes what to do. When you get there, do you tell them or do you ask them?
I ask them. Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, most of them have their own personal coaches. And so a lot of times if their personal coach isn't in the warm-up area, because a lot of times you have to get, like, I guess, special permission to be in the warm-up area. And so if their coaches aren't there, most of the top sprinters in the U.S., I know their coaches really well. So I'll text them or we'll say, hey, what do you want them to do? And they'll give me the information.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'll just make sure they're in the call room at the right time.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Scotty, good question. Teresa Bankele asked, what international meets have you coached?
Well, I've been at under-20 World Championships, and that was in Canada. Maybe my first 4 years at Baylor. Also been at the head coach for the Pan Am team, and that was in Lima, Peru. I was also the head coach for USA vs. the World, and that was in Belarus. That was probably the farthest trip I've been on. And also I did the senior NatCat meet, which it's North America, Central America, and South America countries, and that was in Costa Rica. So those are the ones so far that I've been on. And now, of course, then I'll be on the Paris one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good. That's a lot of miles there for you. That didn't include recruiting either.
No.
All right. Bob Barrett is right there. Bob asked, who is the most improved guy on the team and the most improved female?
Those are good questions. I think I will go with the men's first. I would say Lorenz Colbert. He had a great indoor season so far. He qualified for nationals in the 200. Last year he was hurt. Let's rewind. His freshman year, he made the World Under-20 Championships. He won the USA Championships in the 100. Made Worlds, finished 7th, I believe, at the World Championship. But then last year, as a sophomore, he was hurt pretty much the whole season. Came back this year, placed in the 60 and in the 200. Broke his personal best records, and then he qualified for nationals. So I would say Lorenz is probably the number one on the men's side. And then on the ladies' side, I definitely would have to say Alexis Brown. She had a rough, I would say, 2 years at Florida, and then she had a rough year last year with us, just getting over an injury. We found out that she had an extra bone in her foot that was causing her some pain. Got it removed after indoor season last year. And then, I mean, she's done great this year. Qualified for nationals, broke the school record. Like I said, the first female to ever in 22 feet is so far. It's probably like for me to Colin. 22 feet is pretty far, but she just works hard. I think a lot of people would have gave up after having 4 bad years or 3 bad years in college, but she just kept on plugging away and just trusting the process and trusting God. And so I've been really proud of her.
Yeah. Boy, what a great story there. Extra bone in your foot would slow you down a little bit, wouldn't it?
Just a little bit.
I would think so. All right. Good question there, Bob. Here's a question, another one from Roy. What does our 2024 class look like, and are there plans to hit the transfer portal?
Well, Roy, there's always hitting the portal. I think that honestly, just trying to find a balance between the portal and the high school athletes and the junior college athletes. I think that our class right now is steady getting a little better. Right now we've signed a bunch of short sprinters so far, and we also signed a long jumper from the San Antonio area. We got 2 sprinters from the Dallas area, and then we'll right after NCAA's, I'm pretty sure the portal will open back up, and so we'll start looking at the portal and seeing what our needs are. I think a couple of our needs we're looking for some quarter milers and probably another jumper. And some distance runners. That's probably our big focus going into the 24 and 25 years. And then, and so that's what we're trying to do. But the portal is going to be there for a while, so we're just, we go with it, see where, and then, of course, Baylor's $75,000 a year, so we try to make sure that we spend the money correctly and get the right person, or get the right people to Baylor.
Yeah, I would say. Some sports start recruiting, potential student athletes really young, like sophomore year in high school, or maybe before that.
Yeah.
How early does somebody get on your radar?
Honestly, about that year, sophomore year.
Okay.
And so we get a lot of emails, we get a lot of videos on sophomores. I've done a bunch of visits already for the 25 class already, and I think I have probably like 4 more before we finish, and then we have some coaches that are going on the road even this week to do some recruiting this week because next week we'll have a dead period, so we can't travel. So while we're at nationals.
Good, very good. All right, great questions. Thank y'all very much. First Place Foods, Ask the Coach. First Place Foods, that's a darn good pickle. How about your Colin Pirtle says your men's 200-meter group is ranked #1 in the nation.
Yeah.
How is that determined as a group?
Well, they do an average of all their times, and then that's their average. And the average at the conference meet, we just ran really fast.
Right.
And then I didn't know it until I looked it up that we were #1. I know we were running fast, but it was just it's a good honor that our kids were running fast at the right time. I don't think we get a trophy or anything for it, but at least they know they can run fast, and then we'll run fast outdoors. So that tells me that we should have a better 4x4 outdoor and a great 4x1.
That's great. Good bragging point. Good,
no, it's always good for recruiting.
Right,
people like stats, and
right.
you can show that stat and say, hey, we are the #1 200-meter school in the country right now.
So you got the indoor nationals coming up next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Boston.
Yes.
That's a new track up there?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So New Balance built a new facility. I haven't been there yet. I've heard good things about it. Great warm-up area. It's very crowd-friendly. The track's fast. I've seen a couple of track meets on there. They also have the high school national meet up there also on Sunday after we get finished. So it'll be interesting to see that. But looking forward to going up to the East Coast. Most of the time we're either in Arkansas or Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
So this is a different location. I think just to get to see other places in the country.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to it. I mean, we have seven athletes going. 4 men and 3 ladies, and so we're looking forward to seeing who can bring back some All-American titles.
Which is the biggest number you've had in your time here, right?
Yeah. I mean, last year we had I think 5 on the men's side and
6?
1.
6 total.
And so this year we wanted to get more females. Of course, we got 3.
Yeah.
And I don't think I did a great job on the ladies' side on the sprint side this year. So we'll have to correct that during outdoor season. But looking forward to seeing. We have some veterans that are going, like DeMar Francis and Ezekiel. So I think those 2 going back the second time or the third time for Nate and second time for DeMario. But then everybody else are all new. So this is the first time. So just trying to keep their nerves down a little bit at nationals. And I think our national championship is probably the hardest one to make because it's the top 16 in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
And so every week you're looking at the rankings and making sure that you're in the top 16. So if you make it, it's a huge honor. But now it's time for us to get some points at the national championship.
Nice, very good. Well, good luck there.
No, thank you.
Congratulations again on being named to the coaching staff for USA Track and Field and the Paris Olympics. That is huge. The Clyde Hart Classic, March 22nd through 23rd. Michael Johnson invite, April 19th and 20th. So we'll be out there at the track soon. So
thank you so much.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, Sick'em Bears.
Sick'em Bears. Thank you very much. Michael Ford, Baylor Track and Field coach. Take a break. When we come back, Scott Drew joins us. Baylor basketball, the conversation. When we come back on the Baylor Coaches Show, live from Rudy's.
Baylor Plus is the home for Baylor basketball fans all season long.
I don't sleep on game days because I'm too excited.
Go behind closed doors and experience Baylor basketball like never before.
I came to coach in top 5 matchups.
We're going to turn the tide on them. Do we got them?
Start your free 7-day trial at BaylorPlus.com and gain instant access to the full library of content.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in-network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
I hate my job,
but I don't mind getting up in the morning.
I dread each day,
but I can't wait to get out of bed.
You ask me why,
and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue.
Next in line.
Looking to connect with Baylor alums in your area? Baylor alumni can help. Looking to host a watch party in your city? Baylor alumni can get you started. Want to step out in your community and serve with other alums? Baylor alumni is your connection with the university and each other. Let's get started. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
Show. Let's give you our Baylor Scott and White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics health tip for the week. Don't let pain slow you down. We diagnose and treat sports-related injuries and provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike. Visit a Baylor Scott and White Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Specialist and move like you used to.
Does that include coaches too?
Which the athlete or non-athlete?
With all our traveling, you know.
You can be the athlete. I'm the non-athlete. You know how that is. But folks, welcome, Coach Scott Drew, Baylor men's basketball coach. Welcome to you. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
Nice week going here. Big win on Monday. That was a nice bounce-back win.
Any win in the Big 12 is a good one, but especially on the road, they're hard to get. And TCU, I mean, they never beat themselves, and Coach Dixon does a great job. And after a 3 overtime loss at home, definitely wanted to get that taste out of our mouth.
It is a little different this year, isn't it? Because you don't play everybody home and away.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you miss about the league is because it's really hard to sweep teams because there's added motivation for the team that lost that first game. And human nature, there's a little let up when you won the first game. So you miss that part of it, and you also miss the part of having I mean, you knew who the champ was versus
right.
And at the beginning of the year, you try to do scheduling as fair as it can, but especially with this year with the portal, and I think in the future, there's some teams that aren't going to be as good as you thought, and there's other teams that come out of nowhere, and that can really give you. We've been blessed because the NCAA will look at strength of schedule, and our strength of schedule is, I think us and Kansas are the toughest this year in the league.
There's been some conversation the last week or so, some national guys kind of poo-poo in the Big 12. Have you seen that? What do you think that's about?
I haven't seen much of it. I think an ACC coach said something about. But I also saw Fran said that we were number 1 in the RPI too. So because I think they were saying we should use the RPI metric. Bottom line is I think you can use all the metrics in the Big 12. I mean, top to bottom is why it's the best conference. And the other thing is I think the fan support. Let's really credit the Big 12 administrators because the arenas that weren't as intimidating have changed. Everyone's gotten smaller arenas like us with the Foster Pavilion, and those are just huge home court advantages now where maybe 10, 15 years ago, the Texas schools in particular had arenas bigger is better, but it's really not.
Yeah.
You want small, packed, and loud, and so that's something I heard Bill was talking about. It's just different because the arenas are so loud in the Big 12, top to bottom.
Foster has been good for you, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been great, and I know the city of Waco is done an amazing job with embracing it and the support there. But I mean, making an evening of it. I know boosters and fans come in, they spend the weekend, and as we finish all the construction downtown, it's going to be. I even saw the neon lights green lights the other day. Yeah, so I mean, I think that whole thing, when it's all done, is going to end up just being fabulous.
Ooh, man, that is it already is inside Foster, but then everything else around it's just going to keep getting better. That is great.
And definitely it's a lot louder, as you know.
Very much so.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Scott Drew is with us. Plenty of questions from the audience. We're going to get to your questions, including you, Joe Cavrich. We're going to get to your question first for Scott Drew, so we'll have that when we come back on the Baylor Coaches Show, live from Rudy's Real Texas Barbecue. We'll be right back after this.
Have you gone gold yet? Go gold with Baylor Athletics this season and be the gold factor across each of our sports. Wear exclusive Go Gold apparel from the Baylor bookstore at the upcoming Go Gold dates. To stay up to date on some golden opportunities, visit BaylorBears.com/GoGold. Go Gold and Sic 'em Bears.
TFNB Your Bank for Life is the official local bank of Baylor Athletics. Find out why more Central Texas are making TFNB their bank for life. Sign up for our Edge checking and savings accounts to earn interest or cash back. With 5 convenient locations and an award-winning mobile app, banking has never been easier. TFNB, your bank for life. Member FDIC.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
I hate my job,
but I don't mind getting up in the morning.
I dread each day,
but I can't wait to get out of bed.
You ask me why,
and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue.
You're listening to the Baylor Coaches Show on the Baylor Sports Media Network.
This evening, thanks to everyone that is here, those of you watching, those of you listening. We continue with Coach Scott Drew, and we've got our First Place Foods Ask the Coach. First Place Foods, that's a darn good pickle. Questions for Coach Drew. Here's the first one from Joe Cavrich. Joe is right there. Joe is from Pittsburgh, right? All right, Joe, welcome. And he works with Playfly Sports and Baylor Bear Sports Properties. So Joe's question is...
Is that why he's dressed in Steelers gear?
No, it's cold outside. That's why he's wearing that. Now, Joe's question is, now that you've broken in Foster Pavilion, can you tell us about the home court advantage you get in a more intimate arena?
Well, I know Pittsburgh has great sports, and their fans are known for being very passionate. And why a home court advantage like Foster, what it does is, first and foremost, the noise when the other team's on offense is disruptive. And, for instance, in the Farrell Center, a coach could just call out what plays they want run. Now they have to signal them or put them on a board because they can't hear. So that's disruptive. The second thing is obviously who was it? Kelvin Sampson. I'm going to steal his line. He says, fans influence the 13 people on the floor. So as long as everybody's human, noise, music, adrenaline, I mean, we all feel it, and it all affects us differently. And I think you get when we go on the road and the home crowd gets going, it just makes everything twice as hard. And human nature, I think officials try to do a great job, but they're influenced by the crowd. The home team obviously plays better, and the visiting team a lot of times can get rattled. So you put all that together, louder, more passionate, definitely is something that – and I remember one of the coaches in the Big 12 went to – I'm not going to name the school, but at the time they didn't have a crowd. And he was complaining afterwards, it's so hard to motivate your team when they walk out and it's an empty arena you're playing in. But it's a lot harder to walk out in a packed, really loud arena that's really intimidating.
Yeah, very good. Joe, thank you. Great question. Glad you're here. Teresa Van Kelly right here asked, sports have become more aggressive and violent. Do you foresee the commissioner addressing this?
Well, I think there's reason for that. And since the COVID year exception, because of NIL, now instead of people being in school 4 years and then choosing to go play professionally overseas or in the G League or whatever, now they're all coming back to school for a 5th year. Then you throw in the COVID year, 6th year. I mean, we just played at TCU, and I think they're the 3rd oldest team. Yeah. And it was like when you look at the starting lineup, it's senior, 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 senior. You look at the bench, it's senior, 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 junior. and like everybody you're facing, one was a 7th-year guy, another was a 6th-year guy, 4th and 5th-year guys. So we played at BYU, and I told Eve this. I said, you were in 2nd grade when number 20 was driving. All right? I mean, so you think about it. It's like a 17-year-old to a 9-year-old. The guy's 8 years older. So the older guys are a lot more physical. And so I think as the COVID year gets gone, and if it ever across basketball, I think it's too physical. Obviously, at the start of the year, there's always points of emphasis. And this year, the point of emphasis is not taking secondary charges and vertical contesting. And they've done a great job in making that a focal point, and they've reffed that really well, officiated that really well. So I think if physicality and off the ball becomes a point of emphasis, it was several years ago. But one thing I found out, just like we all raise kids, it's an emphasis for 1 week, and they're good the next week, and the next week, and after that, they forgot about the emphasis. So that's where you always set the year with different emphasis.
Yeah, great question. Appreciate that. Scott Van Kelly is right here also. You played some really good zone defense, seems like more lately than you have. Scott asked, what is the key to have an effective zone defense?
Well, it always starts with personnel, and with that is if you got length, you got a shot blocker, that makes things tougher. And in the last 4 or 5 years, we played predominantly man, and we had a lot of smaller, more physical, athletic guys. And this year, I think we can play both defenses, and sometimes in games, people just have trouble with the zone or man, and it's great to have 2 pitches. It's baseball season. We got a big weekend with Oral Roberts, but if you're a pitcher and you got a fastball and a curve, you're much better off than if you just got a fastball.
Nice analogy. Very good.
You like that?
I like that. All right, Bob Barrett right there. Bob asked, this is good. This is kind of off-the-court questions. Bob says, which assistant coach has the messiest office and which is the best dancer?
Oh. Well, I think Tweety Carter would say he's the best dancer. But when it goes to messiest offices, this is probably unfair. Luke Simon does our gear.
Yeah.
So a lot of times he has a lot of the gear in his office, and that can clutter stuff up. But it also makes him a very popular man.
That's right. I don't consider that messy.
Yeah. It's a bunch of good stuff in there.
Very good. Bob, thanks very much. Final question from Steve Van Wagner. Steve right here. Interesting. Do you agree with Mattress Mac down in Houston that U of H will win the championship? He says that Mac has bet $1 million that they will.
Well,
$1 million.
I can tell you this, that we can't bet on anything. But why everyone's so excited about March Madness is it seems like anyone that's ranked high loses. And the parity there is nowadays is unprecedented. And so I would think taking the field is the way to go. But with that, Houston, Coach Sampson is a great coach. And they're a little rare from the standpoint his best players have been in his program 3 and 4 years. And or 5 years. Number 13, number 1. I always do by numbers, but I mean a lot of their guys, their best frontline player, their best guard. I mean they're 4- and 5th-year guys, and that's kind of like our national championship team, where a lot of times because of the transfer portal, because of the NBA, it's hard to have a team full of guys that have been in your program. You might have guys that have been in 4 and 5 years of college, but they've only been with you 1 or 2 years. And why is because if they come in as a freshman and they don't play nowadays, they transfer. If they come in and they play and they're really good, they go pro. And so it's hard to have people 4 or 5 years, and they do have that with, and that's an advantage. That experience is an advantage. Hence why they're number 1.
Do you see some comparisons with U of H this year and your 2021 team?
Yeah, defensively, both of us are similar. Shed is number 1 is got a lot of characteristics that resemble Coach Sampson, and hence the success.
Yeah, very nice. All right, very good. Great questions. Thank you all very
much. Great questions.
Let's take a break. When we come back, the Bears will welcome the Jayhawks into Foster Pavilion on Saturday. Talk about that when we come back. It's the Baylor Coaches Show live from Rudy's, and we'll be right back after this.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge-watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. This Texan knows how to sick 'em. Toyota is a proud partner of Baylor Athletics. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com to check out the rugged Tundra today. Toyota, let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
For a limited time, get high-performance, ultra-reliable internet from Astound Broadband, starting as low as $25 per month. And now we have mobile too. Visit Astound.com to order the #1 rated internet. Create the perfect plan with fast speeds to meet all your needs. Plus, get a 2-year price lock when you upgrade to award-winning gig internet. No contracts, no hidden monthly fees, and no data caps. Switch today. Head to Astound.com or call 1-800-4ASTOUND. Restrictions apply. See website for details.
I hate my job,
but I don't mind getting up in the morning.
I dread each day,
but I can't wait to get out of bed.
You ask me why,
and what I'll say
hey, John.
is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Sausage wrap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue.
You're listening to the Baylor Coach.
About 2.5 right here, John.
Sports Media Network.
Basketball, there's number 15 in the nation hosting number 7, Kansas, coming in on Saturday. See Madison right here? Madison is excited about the game. In fact, Coach Ford, who was here earlier, they had a home meet that they canceled on Saturday so they could come to the game. That is a tough
That's
ticket,
the story, and you're sticking
That's
to
right.
it.
That's right. But, man, what a great matchup coming up on Saturday at noon.
Well, I can tell you that up until this year, we were 4-4 with Kansas, and a lot of times you look at the national stats since I think it's 2008, us and Kansas have both been the only 2 teams to win 18 or more a year. Both won national championships recently. They've won 3 conference championships, and we've won 2 in the last 4 years. Right. So a lot of similarities, a lot of good games. And one thing about Kansas is they don't beat themselves either. You got to beat them.
How about this? And I know you love these stats, and you've got some great ones. Baylor and Kansas, 2 of 4 teams in the nation that have won a game in the NCAA tournament the last 4 years. Only 4 teams have done that.
Yeah,
that's good success.
Hence why it's March Madness, right? Yeah.
Right.
If you want the best team winning, you play 4 or 7. If you want March Madness, you play 1 40-minute game.
Man, how about the first meeting with Kansas up there? You guys had a real shot to get a win there.
Yeah. Well, until we turn it over 21 times,
right.
So they don't need any help. We obviously we're frustrated with that offensive performance with the turnovers, but besides that, defensively we did a solid job. Rebounding wise, we did a good job. We just needed to fix the turnovers, and against really good teams, you can't turn it over for 2 reasons. One, you need every opportunity to score, but 2, you can't put them in transition. And like any good team, 3-on-2 breaks, 2-on-1 breaks, they're scoring.
Well, we look forward to it. It's noon Saturday. Great crowd, national television audience, Baylor and Kansas. Just a great matchup. Good luck, and we'll see you there, and thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, get that Rudy's early. Come over and cheer loud and often.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank
Coach
you, Baylor
Scott Drew
fans.
with us. Baylor, Kansas, noon on Saturday. Take a break, be back, and wrap things up live from Rudy's right after this.
Introducing the Sick'em Podcast.
All right, should be almost exactly 45 seconds.
By Sports.
Sure, and I'll start at a minute even if we're still in the break.
People feel that I was approachable, but also that I knew the game.
Hosted by me, John Morris. The Sick'em podcast features in-depth interviews with current and former student athletes and coaches.
As a coach, why you coach is to see other people happy and successful.
Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts. Sick'em Bears.
Hey, that's a darn good pickle for Joe.
Getting up in the morning,
I dread each day,
but I can't wait to get out of bed.
You ask me why,
and what I'll say to you is true. Well, you can get breakfast tacos at Rudy's Barbecue. Scrambled eggs and brisket, they ain't fooling around. Salsa drap, son, they're the best in town. Barbecue for breakfast, yes, it's true. Put a smile on your morning at Rudy's Barbecue.
Next in line.
Premier ER and Urgent Care has all the convenience of urgent care with all the expertise of an ER, all under one roof. At every visit, be seen by ER-trained staff with on-site lab and CT, X-ray, ultrasound, and EKG. Here, you pay for the appropriate level of care that you receive, and we are in network with most major insurance providers. Premier ER and Urgent Care has 4 convenient locations serving Texas: San Marcos, Temple, Waco, and Woodway. To learn more, visit www.premier.care.
Are you a proud Baylor fan? Do you love prizes? The Baylor Sports app allows fans to track their attendance across athletic events and earn rewards. Baylor Athletics wants to reward the most loyal fans, so register online today at BaylorBoldRewards.com or download the Baylor Sports app straight to your phone. Prizes this year are better than ever, so start earning your points today. And Sick'em Bears.
1 minute.
You're listening to
Hey, my math was right. I'm proud.
Baylor Sports Media Network.
On the Baylor Coaches Show tonight, live from Rudy's. Really good crowd here. We appreciate everyone that is here, and a lot of fun to hear from Michael Ford, Baylor's track and field coach, and Coach Scott Drew, Baylor basketball. A couple of things to mention coming up this weekend. It is the Baylor Bold Weekend. There
30
are
seconds.
9 home events for Baylor Athletics. Equestrian is at home hosting number 1 TCU. That comes up tomorrow. Men's and women's basketball.
20.
Women close the regular season on Sunday against Oklahoma State. So a ton of events this weekend, baseball and softball.